places that other people depend on to use.
Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the Board of Works meeting for May the 22nd, 2023. First item on our agenda will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the next item will be roll call. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Becky McClure. Present. Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Next item on the agenda will be approval of the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes? If so, I would entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
I have a first from Alan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Becky. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Next item on the docket will be department heads. Police Department, Chief Morgan.
Good evening, board members. Since our last meeting, Lebanon Police Department has responded to 623 calls for service. Excuse me. A total of 13 people were arrested for the following crimes. 3 for operating while intoxicated, 4 were wanted on a warrant, 2 for possession of meth, 1 for possession of marijuana, 1 for disorderly conduct, 1 for battery, 1 for intimidation. In that same time frame, LPD took 34 crash reports and sent off 1 handgun carry license application to the state for final approval. On to training. Sergeant James Coots completed drug abuse resistance education, also known as DARE, for the students at Central, Harney, and Stokes Elementary Schools. These graduations were celebrated with a pizza party and games for the kids. Officer James Newland completed a Federal Aviation Administration approved drone operators training course. This course was kind of a driver's education course for drone pilots, and now allows Officer Newland to obtain his drone pilot's license if he passes the pilot's test. Lebanon Police Department members completed Stop the Bleeding training provided by Randy Waltz of the Boone County Health Department. A formal presentation was followed by hands-on practice of applying direct pressure, packing a wound, and using a tourniquet to stop the bleed. That's all I have.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Next up is Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 116 emergency calls of service, logged 276 training hours, completed 9 commercial pre-plans, finalized 86 commercial inspections, participated in 4 TAC meetings, hosted 2 CPR classes, and performed 2 car seat fittings. On Wednesday, May 10th, LFD organized a full evacuation drill of Crown Point Assisted Living. We do this 2 times a year. We do simulated emergency events. This time it was a fire in the kitchen. This helps them with their safety rating and their accountability system. So we did a full evacuation of the building. It went seamless, and their accountability system worked well. We'd like to thank Boone County EMS and LPD for assisting us. On Wednesday, May 17th, LFD hosted the Speedway Fire Department for multi-company live fire evolutions. Registration for the Boone County Teen Academy is now open. Please visit LFD's Facebook page for more details. The Northside Fire Academy has completed EMT and the hazmat portions of the academy. Fire school started yesterday. That's all I have for this evening.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public?
Thanks.
Thank you, Chief. Next up is Parks Department, John Messenger.
Good evening. The Big Four Trail is nearing completion at the northeast end of the trail. This portion of the trail will be closed for approximately a couple more weeks as asphalt crews ahead of schedule. They have some stone that they'll finish up this week. Also, they've had a few complaints on dust on some of the gravel roads. They've taken alternate routes and got confirmation today that they are using those alternate routes on 400 there to help the neighbors out. On Saturday, we open from 11 to 6. You can view a full list of hours and pricing at seashorewaterpark.org. The splash pad's now open. We opened it last Saturday. There again, the hours for it are 10 to 8 p.m., 7 days a week. But as I said, our grand opening's this Saturday, Memorial Weekend, 11 to 6 at Seashore Water Park. So I hope everybody can get out. Weather's supposed to be nice. We have quite a few events going on at the same time. We've spread a couple hundred yards of playground mulch at both parks. Currently finish up the mulch beds at Memorial Park, planting flowers starting this week. Hopefully get them in before Memorial Day. Threw some flags down Northeast Street. Hopefully you can enjoy and appreciate those, trying to get those up obviously before Memorial Weekend. They're all down on East Street. We'll wrap them around the park here shortly. Just want to get those up. It's nice to show our appreciation of our servicemen. Our Serving Up Sparks Pickleball Tournament is open for registration. This is a co-ed doubles tournament. The cost is $40 per team, which includes a t-shirt, water, and snacks. This tournament will be held under the lights, and pool play will begin at 7 p.m. with a single elimination tournament immediately following. Spots are limited, to make sure to register as soon as possible. You can register online or by giving our office a call. We're excited for our 2023 Mother-Son Pool Party. Come out to Seashore Water Park on Friday, June 16th from 5:30 to 8 for dinner, games, and of course swimming. Cost is $20 per couple and $5 per additional child. You can register at the link there again, seashorewaterpark.org or 765-482-8860. Love to see you there. We have a very few spots left for our 2023 swim lessons. Visit our website or give our office a call to register. And then coming up on the June 3rd, that's 2 Saturdays from now, the Kiwanis Fishing Derby, the annual one, will be held at the Hot Pond Park on Saturday, June 3rd. Registration opens at 8 and fishing begins at 8:30. I think there's going to be quite a few little games going on and fly fishing instruction. It's really nice. We normally have a good turnout of 150 kids, and we want to thank Kiwanis for helping us with that. We hosted our 2023 Seashore Water Park Staff Orientation this past Saturday, trained over 60 staff members and prepared them all for the 2023 season. And looking forward, again, that water park opens this Saturday at 11 o'clock. I also wanted to touch base on something. The conservation pond at Abner Longley has some algae on it. We're addressing it. We have a contractor come out ever since we had a little ordeal at the hot pond. We contracted that out. They come every 2 weeks to treat the water, and they will be out probably tomorrow or Wednesday. They were out May 10th. Temperatures have let some algae come in there, but we are addressing it. Bill, I know you took care of the conservation pond for quite a time, or conservation
I think,
club for a while.
if they're treating that, it's good.
Yeah.
It's gonna take the first rain, or maybe a second rain before it dissolves it.
Yeah, and it's, there again, they not only do that, they do the submerged plants too and all that. We've really had good luck with them. A little hiccup right now, but they are addressing, they are taking care of it, and they take care of our fountains. We have 3 fountains. The detention pond that we have out at Vincennes is taken care of by them, and also the hot pond, and there's nothing in the hot pond, so just a chemical problem. You got to be careful when there's fish around. We used to take care of it, but after the hot pond fiasco, we contracted out. I think it's better for everybody that we have professionals with their license do that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's all I had.
All right. Any questions from the board?
Yeah, it's not a question, but I want to pass on a comment. Yesterday, Centenary United Methodist Church had their church service at the park. And I went over to the restroom, after the service was over there, and there was a vehicle that was parked there, had Virginia plates on it. And as I came out and to walk back to the service, there was a lady that was there at the car, and I spoke to her and said, "Welcome to Lebanon. I see you're from Virginia." And she said, "Yes." And she said, I just want you to know how impressed I am with your park, how nice it looks, everything. And she said, the other thing is that I am really impressed with the cleanliness of the restaurant.
Yeah.
She said, I travel quite a bit. This is an exception. And so I felt like I needed to pass that on and compliment you and your staff.
We have a great staff, and I appreciate, they take pride in everything they do, so that's really good to hear. Did you enjoy the LARPing that was going on after the service there? Did you see the LARPing going on? I thought that was interesting. Yeah. Thank you. I'll pass that on now.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Next up is the Engineering Department, Kevin Curley.
Thank you, board members. Good evening. Project updates around town. Pavement resurfacing program for this year is all but wrapped up. We're just waiting on schedules for this final striping of the roads. Not all roads get striped, but some of the larger, higher level of service roads get some striping. All roads, though, do get stop bars and crosswalks striped. So working on getting that scheduled. Should happen here in the next couple of weeks, but that's one of those trades that is really backed up right now this time of year. Other projects, Elmwood Bridge, waiting on sod placement. Again, also sort of at the mercy of that subcontractor there. The Whit Road Bridge, they're also wrapping up a few outstanding punch list items, but also be getting ready for sod here shortly. Whit Road project, the road reconstruction project from Lafayette Avenue North. Stage 1 plans, that's our next milestone, not scheduled to be complete until mid-July, July 18th. Grant Street, obviously moving right along. I'm trying to get some updated schedules for some pending closures we have coming up before us, so I hope to have those for you tonight, but as school is wrapping up this week, there will be some road closures on Grant Street, including the intersection of Washington, because that is included in the project. We will have no choice but to close that intersection down while it's reconstructed. And then we have some reconstruction in the intersection of Ann and Williams. Originally, we were going to do that under traffic and have some small intermittent closures, but we've come to find out there's a significant water main issue underneath that intersection that needs to be addressed now, and we just cannot ignore that. It wasn't in the original scope, so we're going to have to open up that intersection again and go down and work on a water main that is aging and failing at this time. I'm sort of thinking tentatively right after the holiday, we will be, sometime in that time frame, we will be closing the intersection of Washington Street and doing that first, and that will probably open up around the end of June, so roughly 30 days closure there, and then we'll switch over probably right after the July 4th holiday and do the intersection of Ann and Williams, including that water main reconstruction that is now being added to the project. So those dates are still in flux. Those were some tentative dates I got from our contractors last week, but they were still working through maintenance of traffic operations and everything that's needed to complete that schedule. But as soon as we have it, we will publish that via the city's social media channels.
Kevin, I have a question on that Washington Street and Grant Street closure right at the intersection there. Is that going to encompass the storm drain there? Is that
It will. It will include new storm drains at the intersection.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Grant Street Phase 2, so taking off south of the intersection of Washington Street, going all the way down to Indianapolis Avenue. That's not scheduled till 2027. We're working on on-site appraisals for the right-of-way buying. That's ongoing, so not much to see right there now, but people are hard at work on teeing that project up for the 2027 season. Fordyce Road, just another reminder, we're working on that project for 24-25, coordinating with the new elementary school, to be named later at the intersection of John Barr and Fordyce Road, working on coordinating drainage and the entrance geometries with the school as they wrap up their design. Big Four Trail, John mentioned that earlier, although I did get a new update at the end of the day. They're actually scheduled to complete asphalt operations this week if things go well. They're ahead of schedule, as John mentioned, so they're wrapping up the stone and are working on asphalt and should be wrapping that up before we get to the holiday weekend with a little bit of cooperation from the weather. That's with the exception of the intersections at county roads. Those will come later down the road in the schedule. Other active living programs that Derek Warren is working on, the cost share program for sidewalks. I believe there's 24 applications, 11 commitments, and 3 projects have already been completed. Also going to start working on replacing sidewalks along the west side of East Street, opposite the new Big Four Trail. Be working and focusing on the area between Elm Street and Noble Street, and that happening through the summer as well. Bike park, just a quick update, the mass earthwork operations have brought in probably about 35,000 cubic yards to date, probably a little over halfway there on completing the import. And we are still waiting on our item approval. We have addressed all outstanding comments at this time, and those comments have been addressed for a couple of weeks now, and we're beginning to gently push for a response from them, so we can hopefully wrap that up and move things forward with our RFP process. Regional detention, we had a good meeting last week with NDOT and Christopher Burke going over the permitting associated with replacing the regional conveyance system, the large pipe underneath State Road 39. Waiting to hear back from them at this point. That's back in NDOT's court. Riley Road widening, final appraisals are really, we expected them mid-May, so any day now that should be wrapping up and moving forward into buying and hopefully getting ready for fall construction. And then another project on the similar vein is Elizaville Road, some drainage improvements there. We're just working with some of the neighborhood groups to set up a neighborhood meeting so we can begin discussing easement acquisition to do some drainage work. And then I want to focus a little bit on our inspection report. I file with you every 2 weeks, but a lot going on. We're looking at paving operations ongoing in Cedar Ridge sections 2 and 3. Sunbrook Phase 4 is also, as well as Sunbrook Villas Phase 3, also in the road construction season at this time. Hopefully be paving roads in the next couple of weeks. A lot going on around the city on the private development side. Peterson, Amston Trailer, Lebanon Street Garage, all getting ready for final pavement here and really starting to put the finishing touches on those projects. Over at the Lebanon Field House, we've started working on storm sewer and grading for roads. Taco Bell and Seven Brew are just ready to open up here in I think the next 2 weeks. So again, a lot happening early this spring as we get into really just the thick of the construction season, seeing projects wrap up. Bel Canto is also underway for mass grading, and as well as projects like the Shell building with the groundbreaking last week, but that is well underway from grading and storm sewers. So a lot going on there. I encourage you to look at the engineering and inspection report and see all the work that Scott is doing. Since we last met, he's at 18 SWIP inspections, responded to 2 complaints, had a successful MS4 audit. I want to thank all the other departments and department heads for their cooperation on that process. Really went through that with flying colors. 5 right-of-way inspections and 1 illicit discharge inspection. So a lot going on to keep Mr. Calvert busy this time of year too. That's all I have.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Thank you, Kevin. Next up is Engineering Department. Ben? Or Planning Department?
I'll answer either one, it's okay. Good evening, board members. Planning department activity over the last couple of weeks, so there's been a lot going on. On the building side, we did complete 68 building inspections, so still very strong activity on the construction side, and 50 additional permits were issued. It was about the same as the last couple of weeks before that. So still seeing very strong activity on the permit side, getting ready to issue some additional big building permits. The Bel Canto apartment complex, we're expecting to issue their building permit anytime now, so they can get started on some of the site work out there and start going vertical. So that's a pretty significant multifamily project that's going on out there by the field house. They're supposed to be starting to go vertical in the next couple of months. So we'll be issuing a lot more permits going into this summer. Later on the Board of Works agenda, this planning office is going to be requesting approval to move forward with the purchase of a trailer. And as board members, you might be asking, why is the planning department buying a cargo trailer? I know I've mentioned a couple times before in relating to code enforcement, we're looking to boost some neighborhood-related activities, and particularly in this case, is a partnership with Habitat for Humanity, whereby we're basically boosting and re-energizing some of their programs they do for neighborhoods and for homeowners in our community. So right now, when they go out and use their repair program on a property owner's property, they have volunteers bring their own tools to do some work, usually yard work. Maybe there's some real basic repair on a porch that needs to be done. They're power washing houses, maybe painting the porch rails or something like that. They just ask volunteers to bring their own tools, but they're really only doing a few homes a year for that. What we want to do is be able to boost their programs so they can do those more regularly throughout the season, and actually purchase a trailer and tools to really build that up in Lebanon, maybe even do a whole block if we can identify a block that works and you're doing 6, 7, 8 houses on a Saturday as opposed to just one at a time. And so that's really what we're doing here, is our partnership with them, really to boost those programs that they're doing in our neighborhoods, just boost the activity, more regular activity. And so that's the request is for you tonight. And we'll roll out the specifics of that program, but really what will happen is individuals or owners that have some sort of repair that they need assistance with, they'll still apply to Habitat for Humanity, and then Habitat qualifies individuals for based on need, and then essentially they'll work with us on the financial side of that to be able to move forward with that. So it'll all still work through Habitat, and we're just kind of on the back end really helping to boost that. So we'll be rolling out more details over the next couple of weeks related to that. We're meeting with Habitat relatively regularly to try to figure out exact details there.
Who's going to be using the trailers?
So we will still own the trailer and tools, and then we'll essentially just provide it to them on that work day. So it's not like we're giving them the trailer. We'll still own it. We could actually use it for other activities that we may have too, as we boost other neighborhood programs as well. But that's the thought process right now. So and I'm sure I can talk more about it when we get to that item later on. But there's still some details we're working on. On the code enforcement side, as I mentioned, code enforcement. I'm sure everybody keeps track of exactly the numbers every couple of weeks, like I do. As I mentioned, we're getting close to the season where grass and weeds become issues as people are not mowing their grass in the spring. So typically we have about, I will say, give or take 10 new cases every couple of weeks. You'll see that this time we had 57 new cases, with 42 of those being grass and weed complaints. In fact, if I recall, Matt told me that they got 20 complaints over the weekend so that they were checking on as of this morning. So a ton of activity on new cases, and then typically in terms of activities, you have about 50 different activities that took place, and this last couple of weeks had 160 different activities related to code enforcement cases. So we are definitely seeing a significant uptick. It's probably some of the busiest 2 weeks I've seen in the last several years in code enforcement. So a lot of activity this spring. We're addressing those all as quickly as we can, getting letters out where needed, but it will take a little bit of time to work through 57 complaints that you get in a couple week time period. But we're hoping that programs like we're doing with Habitat will be more proactive, and hopefully we can address some of the issues before they become really bad and they end up being code enforcement cases. So that's some of the ideas what we're doing there, is to be more proactive with that so that they're not a problem on the back end. We're addressing them up front. So a lot of significant activity there, and we expect to see that continue. So that's all I have for now.
Any questions from the board?
Ben, one question. Does the county still, do they have the same regulations we do have on residents and mowing grass and things like that?
I don't know that they have codes
And the only
related to
reason I
property
ask,
maintenance.
up where I live, up on 250 North up there, just west of the railroad tracks, the first house on the south side, I think it's in the county, still.
It might be, yeah.
And their grass is like that, so.
I can certainly check with my county counterpart, but I'm not aware that they have property maintenance requirements.
Everybody else is mowed around it but that one. So it's just, I don't know if anybody's in it. Doesn't look like anybody's moved out of that place for months. I
Yeah.
don't know, so.
I can certainly inquire, see if there's anything we can do.
Any other questions from board? Any questions from the public? Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Next up is Street Department, Stormwater Department, Dave Neville.
How's everybody doing? Good to hear. We're out fixing potholes, so we're pretty much caught up on them, but there's a few out there still. So if you see any, don't hesitate to get on the portal or call our shop or the office at 765-482-8870. Just hit number 4 to get to us. The guys were out picking up some easements today, some of our hot spots, you know, Cox Avenue there by the good old truck stop. That's always a nice one. So we pick up those. We started our weekly mowing schedule a couple weeks ago, so we're doing good on that. Kind of Ben's point, we got 2 houses that we're mowing as well, so keeping on those. The guys have been out keeping the drains clean of debris, and they also got the vac machine out, which that just basically goes inside of it instead of just the top of it, and we suck all this stuff out and keep them clean, try to keep a perimeter of where we go all through town, so each year we get a different area. Street sweepers been out and about as well, sweeping our streets, so trying to keep on top of that as much as we can with the trash people emptying our dumpsters anymore. It's kind of a challenge, so we're at their mercy, I guess. Last week, I want to thank Kelly for the invite, but Bob, Tony, and Ryan took the street sweeper up here to the municipal building. I think it was for the central, I want to say 6th grade maybe, school kids. And they had a blast. They were wearing Bob and them out with questions, and it sounded like they really liked it. And then the other day in the mail, we got a bunch of letters, cards from the kids telling Bob and them thank you, and drew pictures for them, and it was a pretty cool event. We enjoy doing that stuff. We do the touch a truck events at the fairgrounds and all that, and that's the street sweeper, for some reason, is the big turnout. They love that thing. As far as the dates for the brush week, May 8th through the 12th, I think we already did that one, didn't we? June 12th through the 16th will be coming up, so a couple weeks we'll be back out. To remind people, because we're still getting calls about it, we don't take their whole tree, so if you cut your tree down or you have a company cut it down, they better take it with them. So we're just there for like trimming of your tree branches, or if we have a storm or something like that. But we got a lot of contractors trying to leave their stuff for the homeowners. We're trying to get that fixed for them. Update on the new street department, tiles going in the bathrooms, the cabinets are in like in the break rooms. They're working on the salt barn, so that's a big deal. And then they're doing a lot of, just getting ready to start proof rolling now that the weather's better, so they can start putting concrete and our asphalt and stuff in. So it's looking pretty good out there. If you haven't been out there, don't hesitate to go out there. That's all I got.
Do you have an estimated date when it'll be done?
They're saying the end of July right now.
End of July? Okay.
Dave,
Yes.
one question. I don't know if it was you or Kevin can answer this one, whatever, but the addition up there on 250 North, on the north side, along and out Whit Road, Whit Road, where they had to close it to make the cuts across the road for, I think, for the water line.
Yeah, where those cuts are real rough.
Do we have a schedule when they're coming back to resurface those patches?
I'm not sure. I know they're pretty bad because they got they do have barrels and stuff out there, but I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing stone and curbs in the next few days and getting ready for asphalt. So I don't have a definitive schedule, but I would say, given where they're at, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, they should have asphalt on site and be doing those patches.
When they're doing asphalt out there, you think they'll come out and do that? Okay.
Yeah, because I think they need to address the one they did last year that settled a little bit, but.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the board? Any question from the public? Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Next up is Communications, Community Development Department, Joe LePage.
Hey everyone, as you may know, we're getting ready to kick off a very busy season in Lebanon. Lebanon loves to throw parties and does a really good job at it. One of the ones the city is putting together is Boone County Summerfest. That's coming up on Friday, June 2nd and Saturday, June 3rd. Just earlier today, around 4:30 or so, the vendor map, the initial vendor map went out to our 18 different vendors and folks that will be having goods and services there at the event. That number will probably grow past 20, but we'll get a final one out there when the event is ready to roll out. Still taking applications and still those conversations for the vendors. You can reach out by email, info@lebanon.in.gov. Just a brief recap on Friday, the Midwest Originals and the Flying Toasters will be playing. That's in the evening. And then evening of Saturday, the 3rd, will be Rich Hardesty, the Indigos, and then finally Country Summer. This is a free, all ages can attend event, a lot of fun. Been real busy with our Love in Lebanon podcast, getting a lot more local groups wanting to be featured on that, which is great. It's what it's there for. Just recently, and will air tomorrow morning on the last day of school, Jesse Fleming with the Lebanon Public Library. Also coming up, update on the Brakeman Building, the Forza group there. National Donut Day, a fundraiser for the Salvation Army. We recorded that earlier today. Also recorded today, Lebanon City Market has a new market manager, and so we sit down with her and kind of preview the market season, which is getting ready to kick off. It'll be every Tuesday from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m., June through September. A lot of things happening. On the video front, recorded some video today on the splash pad and some kids having some fun with that, so a video will air tomorrow. Also Hickory Junction updates as well as Bel Canto. And then finally, as Ben mentioned, there was the Shell Building groundbreaking last Friday. Have some, get into the weeds just a little bit with the why behind that and helping to educate some of our members of public to help get them up to speed of why that was so important and so vital to our community. And so looking forward to sharing the education piece as well. That's all I've got.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Thank you, Joe. Next item is old business. Does anybody on the board have any old business? If not, we'll move to new business. The first item is street closure request for YMCA 5K run. Heather?
Patrick.
Heather, yeah, Heather asked me to come since I was
Doesn't look
already
like it.
coming. So do you want me to go now?
Which one are you doing? Are you doing the YMCA or are you doing?
So the Clues Brews and the YMCA partnered together on this 5K, so it's I can include it in my later requests, or it's up to you, what you want, but
Yeah, put them all together.
then proceed now?
Sure.
Okay. So that was all in that road closure request I had sent you guys earlier today. How do
You want to read them? I mean, just read briefly which ones you have on the closure?
Yeah,
I mean, I think we have the,
Yeah, do you want me just to say, approve the request that was submitted, or do you want me to go through every single one?
does anyone on the board have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. In fact, I'll just be honest, I have a problem with your first request here, where you want to close those 4 parking places from today to October the 31st for 5 straight months, every day for business.
It's not every day, it's just a blanket. So we don't do it, and we only do it based on demand, if that doesn't make sense. So we don't do that every day. We set it out as like Eli Lilly Company rents us out, and then we would set up. Does that make sense? So it's a blanket so that I'm not rushing in here every 2 weeks and requesting it. That doesn't mean we do it. So we only do it if it's necessary. So like right now, this week I have no use. It would not be used. Does that make sense?
Did you do this last year?
Yeah, we've done it every
Yeah,
year since we've
it's the
been open.
same thing he did last year.
But you didn't
So
do
it's-
it for 5 months.
Well, it's not every day. It's.
Well, it says
as
here,
needed.
It's,
October.
I could amend the word, it would be as needed, but yes, we don't just set up, that's a lot of work, I wouldn't do that just for nothing. We do it based on demand, so.
But you've indicated 2 different times here. You've got, the only day that you don't have on here is the day you're not open. So you've got 4 to 11 p.m. daily, Tuesday through Thursday, and from 4 on Friday through 9 p.m. on Sunday. That's every day. every day that you're not, 6 days a week.
I understand that, but we would not do it every day, but you're not understanding what I'm saying. The city, or you guys, did not want me coming in here every 2 weeks and requesting these, so we get constant bookings, like Eli Lilly rents us out, or wedding reception, or different things where they require additional space, and that's what that is set in place for. So,
Well, it seems to me that you've been pretty regular in coming in and asking for street closures. And I think the board has been pretty good about saying, hey, if you have a street closure need, you'll come in specifically with that particular day or that particular time. But I have a problem in just giving you, a carte blanche, hey, anytime you decide you want to close off the streets, you can do that.
we're talking about 4 parking spaces, not the streets.
How many days do you anticipate you're going to do
Alan,
this?
that's not what I've been instructed to do by the staff. I mean, you're literally the only person that's given me that feedback, so.
I think, Alan, he's just talking about the 4 parking spaces.
Yeah.
And what
Not
we've
the
done before.
street.
Not the street.
It's not a street.
And he just does it as he needs it within these timeframes.
Last year, he came up and he asked for it, and we gave him a trial period
Yep.
We did.
and said, okay, come back in 2 to 4 weeks. I don't remember what it
Yes.
was, but I know there was a trial period because I just
Yep.
read the minutes for something else. And then after that, they approved, this board approved whenever you needed to do
Correct.
that. That's when they did it. So I'm just trying to explain
So you're not, Patrick,
what
so.
happened last year.
Okay,
It's
so
not-
Patrick, you're not planning, you're not saying that you're gonna close this off every day?
No, not
If you
at
get-
all.
If you know you're gonna have someone come in like I think I remember last year you had a class reunion.
Class reunion, we get,
You get someone at the class reunion come in and.
we get
and
groups
you
from
need
the Little
more
League and
space.
West, Whitestown, so you're talking 80 people that want a space, and that's what that would be used for.
And you're just talking about the 4 parking spaces.
Correct.
Now, you're not closing the sidewalk off.
I am not closing the sidewalk.
You're just closing off the 4 parking spaces.
Correct.
Parking spaces.
So we
That's what
still got the
talked about
side,
last
we
year.
still, excuse me, we still got the sidewalk between your outside area
Yes.
and thing, okay. So
And
you're
we've
not closing the
upgraded
sidewalk.
barricades as requested.
You're just requesting for this much time up to the end of October, or, right?
Yes, yeah,
And I may need it, I may not need it,
correct.
okay.
That's what he's talking about.
Patrick, I understood you then to say that the barricades that we discussed last year have
Yes.
now been secured, and that's the way you're blocking them off?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I believe I came and showed you guys that after we had done it last year.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the issues last year, was the safety issue, just because of it's not a very good barrier when those are set up, but you agreed to put up the barriers. But the barriers, are certainly an improvement, but they're not much protection for somebody if they run in there. I have real concern about the liability of the city and of this board for approving those kinds of things, but that's just my own personal opinion.
How many people can, how many people could you maximum put in seating in those 4 spaces?
We could fit about 6 picnic tables that seat 6.
So 36 additional
Yes.
people? Okay.
You want to talk about the 5K as well?
Yeah, so we partner with the YMCA. We're raising money for their scholarship fund. So that's June 10th, 9 a.m. We're doing a rolling outage down East Street to the park and then back.
So you don't have there's no street closure really associated with it?
Not tied with that directly. We have a street closure later in that day for our, the rest of the anniversary gathering, basically. So it'd just be, like we did last year, the event space and under the lights, and then around the corner on Washington Street.
Yeah. Any other questions from the board?
Okay, so you want to close off East Washington Street?
It's a rolling outage, so it would have, cones with
For
our
your
hired.
5K run?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
I'm making a request that we vote on these as individual items rather than as a group.
I concur.
Okay. Which one do you want to vote on first?
Well, he's listed them here with his first one was the one that we've had the discussion on as far as extending this.
Well, let's do the way it's listed, let's do the YMCA, let's do the 5K first and get that out of the way.
That's fine.
So does the board have any issues or questions about the 5K?
Is that what you had here?
Yes, it's on the last
5K?
page.
The 5K,
Is that for the
It's in-
YMCA?
Yes,
that's for the
it's
YMCA,
included.
yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we approve the YMCA 5K run.
I have a first from Dick, do I have a second?
Excuse me? With the rolling closure.
Do I have a second? I have a first from Dick, I need a second.
I'll second that.
Second from Alan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The Cruise Brews YMCA 5K is approved as presented.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's go to the other ones.
I've got it.
As presented, that's the way he presented. Okay. All right. So we've got, let's do which one, what's the next one you want to do? You got three.
The next one would be the rest of, so after the 5K, we have our anniversary bash, so that's the same day. So that would cover that
Second one.
entire event. With two
Second one,
separate.
Okay, second one, right.
The 5Ks are early in the morning, the rest of it's in the afternoon.
All
So-
right, Cruise Brews 2-year anniversary bash on June the 10th
Correct.
between 12 and 11 p.m. All of East Washington Street from Meridian to East Street and the event plaza on South Meridian. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Any questions from the board on that?
Is this an event that you're planning for all this, or is this in conjunction with the Heart of Lebanon or something like that? Or
It's my personal event. So we have our own two huge events a year.
Okay, this is-
Free
this
to
is-
the public.
This is
and-
Cruise Brews putting on an event?
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we approve the Cruise Brews 2-year anniversary bash on 6/10/23, based on the map that has been submitted.
First from Dick, have a second.
I will second that.
Second from the judge. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side. Motion carries for the Cruise Brews 2-year anniversary bash. All right, then we've got, the next one would be
We have a Woodard's fundraiser,
July the
July
8th.
8th. Yep.
From 12 to 11 p.m., all of East Washington Street from Main to East Street. Is that correct?
Yep.
Meridian to
Or
East Street.
Meridian.
Yes, Meridian.
East Washington from Meridian to East Street.
What will you be doing in that?
So there's going to be, we're doing a fundraiser. 30% of our sales will go to the Woodard family. So we're doing cornhole tournament, music, just a family-friendly event to raise money for them.
Okay.
Any questions from the board?
I'll make a motion, we approve the Woodard's fundraiser at Meridian, or on East Washington Street from Meridian to East on July 8th from 12 to 11 p.m.
First from Dick, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries on the Woodward's fundraiser, July the 8th from 12 to 11 p.m., all of East Washington Street from Meridian to East Street. Motion carries, it's approved. All right, I guess we have one more.
Three more.
Three more.
To do the KBZ fouling on September the 24th, 15th.
All right, KBZ filing, all right.
One of them open.
You want to talk about the KBZ filing?
Yeah, so we did it last year. We set up falling. It's free again. A lot of people, we get a good turnout. It's fun. It's something to do. It's unique to Lebanon.
Any questions from the board on this KBZ filing? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the KBZ filing on June the 24th, July 15th, and August 5th. There on East Washington Street from Meridian to East from 3 to 11 p.m.
First from Dick, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from the judge. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. KBZ filing is approved from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. on 6/24 to 7/15, August the 5th, all of East Washington Street from Meridian to East Street. All right, what's the next one you want to do?
Fall Fest.
Fall Festival.
There's the Fall Fest and then the Extended Terrace. I mean, the Extended Terrace is what we had talked about originally. Whichever.
Extended Terrace on 522?
It's just the blanket for
That's
as needed.
That's what we've already talked about.
Yep.
It runs from May through October.
Is that the one you're gonna do now? Or are you gonna do the Clues Fall Festival?
Whatever you want to do.
What we need to do, let's do the Extended Terrace, let's do
All right.
that one. So you're asking for a closure from 5/22/2023 to end of October the 31st from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. daily, Tuesday through Thursday from 4 p.m. Friday and 9 p.m. on Sunday for 4 parking spaces next to the KBZ Terrace on East Washington Street. So is there any questions from the board?
We kind of authorized this last year as a test, and then we extended it on. I'm going to ask, was there any problems? Did you have any problems whatsoever with
No.
traffic? I know we're all concerned about the liability issue, the possibilities. Honestly, didn't make much difference. Somebody jumped the curb and come into your building, they're going to sue the city as well, so I don't know if that's...
I can't hear
Here,
Can't
because
hear you.
Oh, I'm
because of
sorry.
all
I thought you could. I'm sorry.
because of out here.
Shut it.
you can shut one.
I know we all have kind of like liability concerns, and, but like I said, some car could jump the curb down, end up in your building, and we're going to all be sued anyway, so we just hate for anything to happen. I understand it's you're asking for the times to be available if you know you've got an event coming up where you're going to have more people than you planned, and you need someplace to put them. It's like you may not have it every time.
Correct.
But it's available to you that if something comes up, I've got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board on the Extended Terrace? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the Extended Terrace closure use, if needed, for Clues Brews from 5/22/23 to 10/31/23 with this specific times of 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday, and 4 to 9 p.m. on Friday and Sunday.
I have a first from Dick, do I have a second? I got a first from Dick, we need a second. we don't have a second, we won't be able to approve this. All right, I'll second it, okay.
I guess, let me ask, is it the time frame, or is it the amount of days, or,
I think it's within that period, Dick.
Yeah, I mean,
Asking what-
I was requested to lump this more together and make it more streamlined. That's why I did this. I mean,
I think.
if you want me in here every Monday for the next,
I think-
6
I
months, I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah, I think you need to do some work on this next time. This gets really confusing.
Okay.
This is what you asked him to do last year.
Yeah.
So he's just doing the same thing he did last year.
Thank you, Tanya.
Well, whatever we asked him to do last year, to me, it's confusing, but anyway, I'll
I can-
second the motion.
I can make
for
it
extended
better.
terrace. All in favor signify by saying aye.
I'm sorry, what were we doing now?
It's your motion.
I'm second.
Asking for a
So,
vote.
all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign.
No,
No, I vote no.
All votes no,
no,
So does Becky. So it doesn't pass.
so it doesn't, Jackie? All right. Not that I know of. It's just that one doesn't pass, right? I could make another, we could make another motion.
I guess, so that motion doesn't carry, obviously, but if somebody has an alternative suggestion, another motion could be made.
My guess is, from the sounds of it, that you would just have to come back each and every time you have an event and ask for that closure.
Okay.
Is that what the board wants?
Yeah, I'll explain my vote, my no vote. It's just the idea of a 5-month window that anytime they decide they want to do an event, I mean, it's like, hey, we'll just do it. And I have no problem with the others where you come in with a specific date and an explanation of what it's for and ask for approval. When we approved 5 of your 6 requests tonight, but I do not, I cannot support just an open door for 5 months of whatever you decide you want to have an event, you can do it. So I think you still need to come back in and ask, if you got something that's coming up, you'll have a calendar and a plan, you can come back in and ask, explain that, and we'll take action on it.
That's the only other option you have.
I understand that.
Patrick, do you, at this present time, because you're asking from 5/22 to 10/31, between now and I'll say 1st of July, do you have any days or events that you know that you may
Yes.
have large
Yes, I know
groups
of-
coming in that
I
you
know
might?
of 2. I couldn't tell you the date off the top of my head, but I know of 2, yes.
I'm
I mean,
just thinking-
could we approve, a month or 2 months of that? It's just, I mean, in the restaurant industry, it's very fluid, the phone rings and you have to adapt or you don't get it, right? So, that's just how it is. A lot of times I don't have notice, and so that's why we did this the last year, and that's kind of the reasoning.
So does everybody feel like he needs to come back when he wants to do this?
Could we approve a month at a time?
You want to do a month at a
Have
time?
time. I mean,
That's
what if
the
somebody
issue.
calls and says, okay, I want to do something next Monday, and we don't meet till June the 12th?
Well, that's what I mean.
What should he do?
I
What if we
would
do
make a
it
motion that we-
by the month? Is that more comfortable?
What?
By the month, you want to do it by the
Like,
month?
today you approve until June 22nd, and then I come back.
I'll make a motion that we approve from today to July 1st,
Today through July 1st.
and then that gives him a whole month, and he could come in the last meeting in June if he knows he's going to have July, and request for a month of July.
All right. So,
Does that work, Patrick?
Yes.
did I do it? All right, so we'll be asking for a motion to approve the extended terrace from today, which is May the 22nd, to July 1st. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You're
That's
making
a motion.
Do I have a second on that? I second that. Okay? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? Vote no?
No, I voted aye.
Okay, you vote aye? Okay.
I didn't.
She abstains?
Does that work?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay.
The last one-
Motion carries. The extended terrace is approved from May the 22nd to July the 1st.
The last one is the Clues Fall Fest. So it's the same layout of the Anniversary Bash. Those are the two big events that we host. Again, it benefits a local charity. It's just in October.
October the 14th,
October 14th. Yep, it's exact same layout.
And this is for just that date from 1 PM to 11 PM.
Yes.
All of East Washington Street from Meridian to East Street and the event plaza on South Meridian Street. Is that correct?
Yes.
The board have any questions on that?
Is this the Fall Fest we're talking about now?
Yes.
Oh,
I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the closures for the Clues Fall Fest on 10/14/23 from 1 PM.
I gotta have a first from Dick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Becky. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Cruise Brews Fall Festival for October 14th, 2023 is approved.
Thank you. Sorry, I wasn't trying to be hard. I mean,
problem.
I was just given a direction, and then today I was getting the opposite, so. Just love to know what I need to do, and I'll do it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks. All right. Next up, I guess, is street closure request for Nazarene Church.
Good evening, honorable gentlemen and gentlewomen. I appreciate you allowing me to come before you to speak on behalf of the First Church of the Nazarene. We're currently in between pastors, so if you know of a good preacher, we're looking for one. My name's Louis Wheeler. I'm the chairman of the Board of Trustees, First Church of the Nazarene. 2 years ago, we came out of COVID, and the young people had so many years of not being able, well, it felt like years probably, so many months of having to quarantine and not be able to do anything, that our youth director thought it would be a good idea to have a block party, to bring in bouncy houses, trains, pony rides, that kind of thing, to help celebrate the summer and to get the young people to doing something constructive. It worked so well, we did it last year, and then we're looking to do it this year again on June 24th. I was going to email you, and the beautiful lady at the mayor's office told me just to turn this projector on and show you what street that it would be. And I'm not sure exactly how you want that
Hang
to.
on just a second. We'll-
Get that?
You want the paper up
Yeah, just put your paper down there.
like this?
There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And that's not a very clear picture. Yeah. So the top of the page is north, so First Church of the Nazarene is on the corner of Camp Street and Garfield. We're looking to close the area in between Garfield and Essex. So you would still be able to drive east and west on Camp, and you'd still be able to drive down Essex Street. Just that portion in front of the church is the area that we would like to close. We are looking at June 24th, Saturday, June 24th, hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We probably are starting around 10 a.m., but we'd like to have a couple hours to get set up prior to starting, and then I think we'll be done about 3, and we like to get cleaned up, get everything sorted, so that we're in good shape. So that, I humbly submit this request, and with great gratitude for the appreciation, for you guys doing this. I know I had a chance to look behind the scenes. I know there's a lot of work from the fire and the police and the street committee. I served my own 4-year term on city council in Frankfort, Indiana, so I'm aware of the sacrifice, and I appreciate it.
So you're asking for a request, a closure of the intersection of Garfield and Essex in front of the church on June the 24th, Saturday, between the hours of 8 and 5 p.m.?
Yeah, the intersections can stay open, just the part to the north of Essex and to the south of Camp, just the stretch in between.
North of Essex and south of Camp, okay? Any questions from the board? If not, I'd entertain a motion for this street closure for the Nazarene Church.
Move to approve the street closure request of the Nazarene Church as presented.
I have a first, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries, street closure is granted as presented.
Many thanks.
Thank you. All right, next up is surplus 2018 Ford Explorer, Lebanon Fire Department.
Requesting approval for the surplus.
Fire Department's requesting a surplus of a Ford Explorer 2018 for a lease trade of two new lease vehicles to be turned into, this unit to be turned into Enterprise. So I'd entertain a motion. Is there any questions from the board?
Say that again, there's
Two new lease vehicles were purchased, and this one is being turned in towards the lease of the two.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we approve the surplus for the 2018 Ford Explorer from the fire department.
I have a first, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Surplus approval is granted. Thank you. Next up is a discussion on Resolution 2023-11. Chief Batts.
So during the council meeting, we will be seeking approval for a resolution for the multi-hazardous mitigation plan for the county. It serves as a guide for risks, vulnerabilities, and hazards and how they're assessed and mitigated, and also to acquire assistance with federal dollars. We felt like it would be prudent to make a motion and for the Board of Works to accept this mitigation plan, and also during the council meeting.
Any questions from the board on this? Any questions from the public? I'd entertain a motion to approve this discussion of Resolution 2023-11.
I'll make the motion that we approve the resolution of 2023-11 on the Boone County multi-hazard mitigation plan.
This
from the
isn't a
council.
resolution, you're
Yeah, I
not
know.
approving it.
We're approving the discussion.
discussion.
The discussion only.
Okay, so I'm going to
I'm
strike
trying to figure
that.
out a good way to say it,
All right,
and not
got it.
say it the way I did. but-
I have a first.
Multi-mitigation
Couldn't think of it tonight.
hazard plan. Okay.
All right. All right.
Thanks for having a discussion, I'll put it to that.
I have a first, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Becky. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. The approval of the discussion of Resolution 2023-11. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Next up is consideration of quotes for cargo trailer purchase. Ben?
Good evening, Board. I did give you a little bit of background on this earlier this evening. This is a trailer that we will be purchasing as part of our partnership with Habitat for their repair program. We did go out and see quotes. We knew it was going to be roughly around $10,000 for the trailer, so we did go out and see quotes from a variety of vendors, and we did get 5 different quotes from 4 different vendors. Only one, though, had something in stock that met the specs of what Habitat felt like they were going to need in terms of the size, et cetera. So that went into our consideration about where we wanted to move forward with the purchase. So maybe just read through. We've got the first one, quote is from Northside Trailer, And this is for a 7-foot by 16-foot slope top V-nose trailer. And their quote is at $9,407. And then for a trailer from Murphy Trailer Sales of those same specs, it's $9,896. And then Schwartz actually gave us 2 quotes. The first one was $11,058.20. And the second one, just from a different vendor, was $9,361. And then the final quote came from TC Trailers, and that was $8,651. So for those keeping track, the lowest quote actually came from TC Trailers, but their lead time for this, it'd have to be ordered, is about 4 to 6 weeks. One of our hesitation with going that long is we still have to outfit the interior for the tools, et cetera, so that's probably going to take another 2 to 3 to maybe even 4 weeks. We're kind of missing the window to do some of these projects in the summer if we're not able to really start until August or September. So we would actually like your approval to move forward with a quote for the trailer from Northside Trailer, because they do have it in stock. They're actually holding it for us right now pending the outcome of this decision tonight. They do have it in stock, and that was for $9,407. It's about $750 more than the lowest quote we received. We felt like that was an acceptable additional amount, given the fact that we could acquire the trailer essentially immediately and move forward with outfitting the interior with for the tools, et cetera. We do still have to, Dick, I know we talked earlier, we still do have to get details on insurance for both the trailer and for the tools. We need to figure out exactly where to park it, because obviously there's tools going to be, we need it to be insecure, so I need to reach out to Dave and or John and figure out if there's a spot where we can put it where it would be secured. But we did want to request your approval to move forward with the quote and the trailer from Northside Trailer, given the fact that they do have some in stock.
You're asking for consideration of the quotes?
Yes, yes. We need your approval to move forward with with the quote that we're recommending, and that'll allow us then to go make the purchase.
So you're asking for us to give you approval to consider the quote on TC Trailer?
No, the one for Northside Trailers.
Northside?
Yes. They're the only vendor we've been able to find that has a trailer in stock that we can move forward with immediately.
Seeking approval to move forward.
Yeah, they want to purchase it, right?
Just to clarify, you're seeking approval to move forward with the purchase of the
Yes.
trailer, correct?
Correct.
Where the money's coming.
Yes, this is money that's already in our budget with our non-reverting funds, so we don't have to go seek funding yet. This is just to move forward with the purchase.
Ben, how are you going to transport this to?
We have a city vehicle that can pull a trailer this size.
Okay.
So it may be me driving around in there, but yes, we do have a couple city vehicles to be able to pull this.
Okay.
You have 2 pickup trucks, so it should be, okay.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions from the board? If not, I would entertain a motion for the consideration of quote for the planning department on north side, for north side trailers on a quote.
It's the authorization, it's not a quote, it's the authorization to purchase, right?
Authorization to purchase.
Purchase,
All
not
right.
just a quote.
Well, it says quote, authorization to
Right.
purchase, okay. Do I have that I'd entertain a motion. Do I have a first?
Move to approve the purchase of the cargo trailer as just outlined from Northside Trailer, as outlined by Mr. Bontrager.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries for the quote authorization to purchase from Northside Trailers, the trailer. Thank you, Ben. Next up, and you're still up, is authorization to seek bids for the planning department remodel and furniture.
Thank you. So we've got a project coming up that we need to do in our office. Given the fact that we expect there to be a judge that's probably going to want the judge's chambers back at the start of the year, and I've got 2 employees in there right now. So I've got 2 people we need to move out and find more space. Plus, we're also hiring an admin sometime in the next month. We need to have space for another admin. And we're expecting over the next year or 2 that between us and engineering that we're going to be hiring a number of employees in our offices. And right now, we don't have space to accommodate those folks in the planning office right now the way it's currently situated. So we've been working with an architect over the last few months to figure out how we can generate some additional space and use it more efficiently, I guess is probably the best way to put it. So there's a small construction project that will actually be the space where the clerk used to sit outside the judge's chambers. We're going to be taking the kind of the weird half wall out and then putting workstations in there, workstations for up to 4 different inspectors over here. And then over in the planning office, we're actually going to be taking our conference room and turning it into 2 private offices. So we'll be using this community room over here for our larger conferences that we need more regularly than we will in there. And so that's really the only construction, other than redoing carpet, because we'll be tearing a lot of stuff out. And so there's probably places we're just going to redoing the entire carpet, and then redoing lighting and ceiling tiles, and then also updating our little kitchenette area. So I don't expect the construction to be a major cost, but the furniture actually is also part of that too. And we're actually going to have to do 2 different bids, one for the construction, one for the furniture. So that's what I'm requesting tonight, is authorization to seek bids for the construction project and also for the furniture package. We do have one estimate on furniture. It's about $65,000, so it's something we will have to bid out.
So you're asking for a motion for authorization to seek bids for construction and planning department, remodeling, and furniture, correct?
Yes, so there'll be 2 different bid packages we'll have to send out. We'll bring those sealed bids back here and open them up at a meeting once we go through that
Any
process.
questions from the board?
Do you have the funding in your budget for this?
No, once we get an idea of what this is going to cost, we're going to have to approach the council for funding source for that. And so I'll work with Tanya to figure out what exactly that is, and then we'll come, once we figure out the exact amounts, and come to you guys for that.
If not, I'd entertain a motion for the authorization to seek bids.
I'd move to authorize the planning department to seek bids for the remodeling and the purchase of furniture for the plan department.
I have a first from Judge. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Authorization to seek bids for the planning department is approved. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you very much.
We have one additional item that's added for the police department. Chief Morgan.
Good evening again. I'm seeking board approval to resolve a property damage claim. This damage occurred on a warrant service case. I'll get it resolved with the help of legal counsel.
Any questions from the board? Question from the public? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the addition of the property damage claim for the police department.
I'll make a motion, we approve the property damage claim as requested.
I have a first from Alan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from the judge. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Your authorization for property damage claim is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all we have for new business. Next item would be claims. Has everybody had the chance to review the claims?
I got one question on the claims.
Okay.
I was in this evening to look at the claims item and so forth. There were 6 items I noticed in the claims that were, all of them are construction items, a couple of them related to the Elmwood project and Whit Road project, and they were taken out of the Grant Street Reconstruction Fund. There was like 6 items there on the last page of the claims. Yeah, I just,
Could be, we have a person on maternity leave and a girl that just started 3 weeks ago that's filling in doing claims, so.
yeah, I think they just need to be, come out of the wrong spot, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he notified me of these earlier. I haven't had a chance to review them.
Yeah.
These were new CCD appropriation claims, or the new CCD appropriations that were approved last month. These were claims associated with those additional appropriations, and I think they went to the wrong line within the CCD appropriation, so.
Okay,
I'll take a look
Okay.
and I'll just respond to everybody.
I'll make a motion, we approve the claims, subject to those adjustments to be made.
And they were all CCD claims, so technically it's all the same fund. It's just,
I have a first from Dick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Becky. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Claims are approved. The only other item we have would be adjournment. Does anybody on the board have any other things? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a first? Do I have a second? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign, motion carries, we are adjourned. The next Board of Works meeting is June the 12th at 5:30 PM. Next up is the City Council. We are adjourned.